I really loved about Monopoly most of all was getting the chance cards. And so here's one card. You know, Han Solo says, receive for shuttle services 25 credits. Pretty sweet. Here's one that, this stormtrooper says, you're shuttled off to jail. Go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200 credits. Or then there's this one where you get to hyperspace to go, collect 200 credits. Or my favorite one of all of these were you won second place in a beauty contest, collect 10 credits. And that, of course, is the singer from the Mos Eisley Spaceport, if you know how ugly she was. But my favorite all-time card is this one right here. Credit error in your favor, collect 200 credits. Many of you know it by the English translation, bank error in your favor, collect $200. And that game was amazing to me because here is a card where all of a sudden I became aware of the fact that if a bank makes a mistake, I win. Right? If the bank makes a mistake, I end up with $200 extra. And I remember once my bank made a mistake, and I didn't end up with $200 extra. And it seems like they always make errors in one direction. If they make an error, it's always in the direction that is least favorable to me. But I want to challenge you with something. If this happened in real life, you would never keep that $200. In the board game, you do because the game says you're supposed to. But in real life, if you get your statement back from your bank and you find there's an error on it and they gave you $200 extra, if you go to cash a check and you cash an $800 check and they give you $1,000 back, then you're going to look at that and you're going to count that and you're going to say, no, the bank made an error in my favor. I need to do something about it. I need to return that money back to the bank. If a cash register teller hands you too much money and you realize it, you're going to go back there. I know you people. You're church-going people. You do that kind of stuff. And so when we encounter an error in our favor, quite often we will go back to the place and say, you made a mistake. You made an error, and I need to make this right. I'm here to tell you this morning that God makes an intentional error on every one of your paychecks. And according to Him, He does it for some very important reasons. In fact, look at the verses I printed on your note sheet, and I'm going to show you that we have at least 10% more than we need. In Leviticus 27:30, God says this, a tithe of everything from the land, whether grain from the soil or fruit from the trees, belongs to the Lord. It is holy to the Lord. In other words, what God is saying is that of all the stuff that you produce in your life, 10% of it is mine. You don't need that. I am intentionally creating enough harvest in your life so that 10% extra comes in. There is a God error in your favor of 10%. Or let's go on to Numbers. In Numbers, God says, for all the firstborn are mine. When I struck down all the firstborn in Egypt, I set apart for myself every firstborn in Israel, whether man or animal. They are to be mine. I am the Lord. And so God says, every firstborn, animal or child, belongs to me. If it's an animal that's a clean, sacrificial animal, sacrifice it. If it's not a clean, sacrificial animal, then pay for it. Send some money in its place to the temple. Or if there's a human that's born, don't sacrifice the human. Instead, redeem it is the word. Send something in its place. And in this case, it's money. God says, redeem these things with money. They used money back then, yeah. So here God is saying, I am intentionally giving you an extra child. Your first one. I'm intentionally giving you extra crops. I'm intentionally giving you extra stuff. And I want you to treat that like it's mine and return it to me in some fashion. I'm going to show you some statistics. I've got some, they'll be up on the screen so you can fill in the blanks on your note sheet if you want. But I just wanted to share with you some of these things. These are from 2007, so a couple years ago, from the latest statistics we can find, financial statistics from Tippecanoe County. A fair market for a 3-bedroom apartment in this area in 2007 was $880 per month. $880 for a 3-bedroom apartment. If you did better than that, way to go. If you're in a house, the median house or condo was $133,000 sale price, which amortized over 30 years plus escrow and all that stuff comes to around $1,000. So that means the average home in Tippecanoe County is about $1,000 a month, mortgage and escrow and taxes and all that stuff. Then energy costs. The average energy cost per month in this county is $200. That includes heating, electric, whatever it is that you need for the energy in your home, $200. Gasoline and car. Well, I figured this at about $300 for a month for your gasoline and your car if you're not making a car payment. So that's roughly about $50 to $100 for repairs and about $200 to $250 for gas, depending on how far you need to drive. And I put a little asterisk next to this on your note sheet and up on the screen to let you know that this is what my wife and I have figured out. And she commutes about 40 minutes every day, 20 minutes to work, 20 minutes back. I commute about 15 minutes to the school where my kids go and then back. And so we drive an average amount, I think. And so that for us is about $300. That covers our repairs. Now, we're not paying for the car. We've already paid for the cars, so I didn't include that in this little assessment. But let's talk about groceries and consumables. Again, for my family, we figured out that about $200 for adults and $100 for kids works out pretty well. So for my family of four, $600 a month can cover all of our groceries and our consumables, some clothing, and maybe a little bit of other things that the kids need to do for school, like they need to bring something to school. That covers that kind of stuff too. What about cable TV, internet, and phone? Again, this is something that my wife and I have found out. You can survive on $60 a month if you know how to finagle the system a little bit and talk to customer service agents and say, come on, you can do better than that. You can get about $60 for all three of those services in this area. Now, if you're going with certain phone companies, you're going to be spending that much just for the phone, but I'm not going to get into all that. So based on my estimates, basic needs for a family of four comes out to about $2,500. Basic needs for a family of four, including insurance and minor medical savings, $2,500. You're going to have to trust me on some of these numbers. We can talk about it in specific some other time. But do you happen to know what the average household income is in Tippecanoe County? The average annual household income is $42,000 for all of the county. For all 160,000 people who live in this county, the average is $42,000. That comes out to about $3,500 per month. So $3,500 per month. I even did the math on taxes for you. I was up early this morning and I was wading through tax tables to try to find out how this thing works. And if you add Social Security tax withholding, and you add the government's IRS taxes, and we're talking about an example family of four here. That family of four is going to have a certain number of deductions. I figured all that stuff out just for standard deductions. And if that family were also giving 10% of this amount